images of the moon with craters and mare, and it's all real-time projected in a very sort of sophisticated camera obscura, but not that different than these ancient ideas marking the same things at Abu Simbel or Newgrange. So here's a contemporary art that, with a little help from scientists, actually makes this event that has to do with kind of our sense of territory, our sense of how we are. And as I said, for me, this is not so much, this work isn't science, and in no way do I inform science, but I could inform a scientist. And boy, I've certainly got a lot of help, and the mirrors and lenses that I have used also were done by the University of Arizona large mirror lab, and so that really has helped in terms of the expense of doing just that part of it. This is the east portal, and so as you go up this, you come up the tunnel on the sort of in the center line of the tunnel. It's 14-foot diameter. And then you go off the center line as you come up it. So what was a circle then slowly becomes this very radical 12-degree ellipse. And actually then stairs you can walk up and out through the opening. So what was something that was standing or seemingly standing vertical becomes something that's a roof of a space and one that you can then walk through. Again, here this light and space of the chamber is changed so that at first you see this flat plane, and this would be like the sky space at Varese, Italy, and then this is how it looks on the outside. You actually can walk right through it and out into the crater. This is the back of the staircase going up, which is 3/8 inch silicon bronze. Yeah, there you can see the edge of it there. So, and this space is actually designed so as you go up it, you literally, it's like this idea of yeah, go one back more, back another few, another one, the other way, yeah, the other way.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, pardon me. One more. Again, right here. Yes. At night, that light will make this space black. And it's a black that's actually darker than any material can be because there is no reflective surface. So by contrast, you can make it extremely black, and you see no stars. It's like when you're in your room at night. If you turn the lights on, you can't see out into the night. But if you turn the lights down or off, you can see through the window into the night. And this way, it starts with a very black surface, like on the left. And as you walk up it, these are like the footlights in a way. If you step in front of the footlights, the performer could see the audience. So what happens as you go up those stairs, the stars, by their magnitude, begin to come out. And what was this flat plane with a few stars becomes this amazingly domed space as you step through it into the bottom of the crater. So now we can go on. So this is going down now into the crater's eye. This is what lights the tunnel, and I've made these spaces so that they do have light, so that if electric light were gone, you could still go through the piece and it would have that same sense of it. And this is partly just realizing that I'm making a pre-made ruin. So this is the crater's eye. This is actually the center of the crater, and this is built on the basalt core that's inside the cinder cone. And this is some of the black sand. I've used all materials that come from the site, both the granite, the black sand, the black granite, black basalt, which is not was not made under pressure, so it's a little more porous and light. And also even the sort of a white pumice or tufa that we use too. So this is the space that's in the bottom of the crater and is the crater's eye. And it very much, when you take a picture from above, it very much looks like a Roman statue where you have the eye and there's a hole cut where the iris is, and then there is sometimes there would be a jewel or some part in the center of it. So it has that form when you fly over and look at it. And satellite pictures make it look that way. Now, basically the light that's inside that's made within, we store by pumping water up to a height. It's stored underneath the crater's eye, which has a large cistern. And wind power and solar power pumps water up. And we need to use a few batteries for logic, but we decide to store the energy as water at a height, so it's potential energy, and then cashed into kinetic energy by flowing down through the tunnels through a turbine. Because batteries are often, even if you use submarine batteries, you have to replace them in 10 years, so we decided to do this by water storage. So underneath that actually filters the rainwater that comes through the black sand that she's standing on in the center of the crater. Now, one of the other things that these spaces also have sound qualities, and there's a standing wave that her head is in. It actually creates a standing wave there. When you speak, your voice feels like it's amazingly amplified. And it's into this standing wave in the fumarole space that we do project the sounds, the radio noise of objects that you would be looking at while you're in the bath at the fumarole space. But that's how we make these spaces, so they have both a visual quality and a strong sound quality as well. Now this is going up out of the crater's eye into the bottom of the crater, and lying down on the plinth there is Agostino. And when you actually lie that way, you become very sensitive to the celestial vaulting in the sky. That is, that we shape sky also. This glass thing that can happen at the top of a space, like a sky space, actually happens in a curved shape in the space above you. And this was talked a lot by Minnaert, who wrote a nice book called Light and Color in the Open Air. And this shaping is quite powerful. I mean, it literally has dimensions and shape. It's changed, of course, if there is cloud structure, and is highest if it's just plain blue sky, and most circular if you go out on a moonless, starry night. So here's the top of the crater as it exists now. That's the space going down, the one that had the bronze stairs, down to the... we're looking down the same way the moon would look down on its furthest south excursion. And then this is the top of the crater looking out to the surrounding territory. So, again, I just want to say that we plan to open in 2012 when the retrospective I'm having comes to Los Angeles County Museum in the fall of 2012. It's going pretty well. It's taken me a long time. I'm a little bit like all those friends of yours that haven't yet finished their thesis. And I do hope that you have a chance to come and actually see this, because it's very different to experience this quality of light standing in front of it than it is to look at images of it. Anyway, appreciate very much your patience, and if you like, I'm happy to have questions.
Se qualcuno ha domande da fare a Mr. Turrell, è il momento. C'è una domanda? Yeah, maybe this one. Sorry.
Good afternoon.
Oh, you speak English.
I can speak directly in English if you like. Okay, thanks. In many of your works, there's a portion of the sky framed by an architectural space, and this generates a contrast between this architectural frame, which is dimensionally measurable, and the color of the sky, which is like a film color. I mean, film colors are different from surface colors that are colors like the white of a sheet of paper or the color of the walls around your sky in your work. And volume colors, colors like the red of an incandescent iron, for example, or colors that are concerned with volume and transparent solids. Okay. Now, this, in my opinion, I think this kind of contrast brings to our attention a kind of something which cannot be measured by typical dimensional ways of measuring, like surface or volume. Do you recognize this in your work? And if this is true, what kind of space is this? And what are the implications in terms of visual and especially of color perception, apart from all the implications in philosophical ways or in the way of cognition that, of course, there are and that you've been speaking about? Thank you.
Well, what really happens is that we can make we give the sky its color. Because of that, I don't change the color of the sky, but I change your context of vision, and I can make this any color you'd like when it's able to have the light on the inside balanced with the light outside. So this happens usually at dusk. Now, one of the things to remember about this is that we weren't made for full light situations in terms of our kind of Darwinian development. We have our eyes almost completely closed. We often squint, and we even wear dark glasses often. It's not until we get into lower light situations that the eye opens. And when the eye opens, feeling comes out of the eye like touch. Now, we don't experience that too often in looking at things, although you may remember sometimes seeing a movie in the daylight and then coming out at night, or seeing it going into a movie theater and then coming out in the day, and it's seeming as though there almost is a brutal light that we step into. One of the things is that we're not really feeling with our eyes most times, but when we get down to this area around dusk, then the eyes become quite sensitive and are objects of feel. And I definitely design most of the work for that level of light, sometimes even much lower, where you have to dark adapt. And to see some of the spaces in the crater, you have to dark adapt even up to an hour. In 15 minutes, you've gotten 95% of the dark adaptation, but it still continues for an hour. So it's never really over. But this idea of making color and transparency and even making open spaces seem opaque is possible from how we work the light on the inside to its relation with the light outside. There are pieces that in Pomona College in Claremont, California, in Dallas, Texas, actually in Salzburg, there's a piece in Salzburg where it's possible to make the sky any color you'd like. So this context of vision is something that's really important, and we feel that we receive everything, that the sky is blue, made by nitrogen scatter, and that's what we receive. The fact is that this is completely malleable, and we create the reality which we then unknowingly live in. And because of that, because that can be guaranteed, I can make slight changes to the wall color, which you assume to be white,